Hello WinCraps fans. In this video I'm going to show you how to configure WinCraps to simulate bubble craps. Bubble craps refers to the electronic craps machines you'll find in many casinos. Most of these machines let you bet any amount in whole dollars as long as it meets or exceeds a table minimum. So in WinCraps we need to set the table minimum on the configuration screen and turn off the auto adjust bet amounts feature on the autoplay screen. So I'm going to go to the game menu, configure, and on the bets tab I've got minimum bet for 5 right now. I want to set it to 1. I think that's probably what most bubble craps machines will do. Maybe you'll come across one that requires a $3 minimum bet or $5. Then I'm going to go to the action menu, autoplay, and down here in the right hand corner I'm going to change auto bets from an auto mode to manual. Now bubble craps doesn't require or even encourage you to bet in amounts that produce whole payoffs. For example, a place 8 bet pays 7 to 6, so the smallest bet in whole dollars that would produce a whole payoff in whole dollars would be $6. For example, let's make a $6 place 8 bet. We'll set a point, and now let's roll an 8. And there we have it. A $6 pays 7. It's all even, and we got everything we wanted. However, any bet that's not divisible by 6 would produce a fractional payoff that would have to be rounded down. For example, let's change this to a $3 bet. And now we'll roll an 8. And you can see $3 at 7 to 6 should pay $3.50. But we don't have 50-cent checks available at this table, so it gets rounded down to $3. So in essence, you have given the casino a 50-cent gift. Well, bubble craps takes the sting out of that. It doesn't round down to the dollar, it rounds down to the penny. So now let's open the configuration screen again. Let's go to the payoffs tab, and there's up in the options menu, there's an item here called allow penny payoffs. Let's select that. Now we can go back to the main table. This was a feature that was added in Pro version 2.6. So now the smallest bet in whole dollars that would produce a whole payoff in pennies would be $3. So let's roll an 8 again with our $3 bet. Now here's the $3, pays $3.50, with no rounding has taken place. You've not given the 50 cents away, now it's yours. Great. However, any bet amounts not evenly divisible by 3 would still produce a fractional payoff and would have to be rounded down. So let's try and bet, say, we'll make a $2 bet here and see what happens. This time, $2 pays $2.33 and a third, and then of course it's going to have to be rounded to the nearest penny. It's going to be rounded down, so it just pays $2.33. So although it's still rounding off, it's just in fractions of a penny now, and maybe that's not quite so bad. So to recap, to set up WinCraps to simulate bubble craps, on the configuration screen you've got to set the minimum bet on the bets tab, set allow penny payoffs on the payoffs tab, and set manual for auto adjust bet amounts on the autoplay screen. Now, what if you have an earlier version of WinCraps that doesn't have the penny payoffs feature? In this case, on the configuration screen, we're going to set the minimum bet and we're going to set the smallest check to 1 penny. So I've already set the minimum bet. I'm going to just leave it at $1. We're going to go to the checks and dice tab, and we're going to set the smallest check equal to 1 penny. Now, I'm going to set the other checks as well to something that I might feel is convenient for my play. So maybe I want a $1 check, let's say a $3 check, a $5, and maybe a $10. And now we can go back to the main table. Now, you can see down here we have a penny and we have the other checks. Now, on bubble craps, as I said, you have to bet in whole dollars. So we're not going to use the 1 penny check. It's just here so that the house can use it for payoffs. So we're going to select the $1 or higher to make our bets. So now, here's a $3 bet. Let's hit an 8. And there you go. It still pays full. No rounding was necessary because it had the penny checks available for payoff. 3 pays $3.50. Let's try a $2 bet now. And here you see 2 pays 233 and a third. And of course that has to get rounded again to 233. So basically it's the same thing as we had before, only we have one check that we're really not using. There is, however, one other caveat here, and that is on the little screen here that pops up when you win a bet. If you were to select press 1 unit, which is showing 6 cents, because we have the 1 penny check available, or if you were to select parlay, you would end up getting a bet that is not in whole dollars. So if that's the case, you're going to have to adjust it yourself or just not use those two items, the press 1 unit or parlay. All right, WinCraps tables usually have a few extra buttons also to help you make bets, such as across, inside, outside. Like you would hit the across button and it would make all the place bets for you. You can easily create buttons like that to do the same thing on WinCraps. You can use hotkeys, and you can, of course, make hotkeys with AutoBet. So, for instance, let's say I want to make an across button. Let's go to auto betting. And I'm going to write just one simple line here. We're going to say add CS1, that's check stack 1, on place bets. So when I just say place bets, that includes all of the place bets. And what I'm trying to do is say that whatever amount I've put on check stack 1, I want to use that as a amount to bet on the place bets. Now I've already saved that as a file called HK add check stack 1 across. So it's not anything I'm going to activate on this screen. I just wanted to show it to you. So we actually can just delete that. Then on the hotkeys screen, you can see here I've already added Control P to HK add check stack 1 across bet. That's the file I created. And I just gave it a name. I called it add CS1 across. Now I made a similar one for add check stack 1 inside. So I'm going to select both of those and I will show them as buttons. And now you can see we have on the table here are a couple buttons just like they do on WinCraps. And let me select the $1 check down to check stack 1 and I'll hit add CS1 across. And there you go. It added $1 to each of these. Now we already had a $2.08, so that went up to 3. If I were to delete everything, click again. Now we're going to end up with $1 on each of them. Now if we click it twice, we end up with $2, etc., etc. Just keep going. If we click the other one, add CS1 inside, it just adds to the inside. So you can set up as many buttons as you want on here. Maybe you have some that we're going to subtract. Maybe you want some that just bet an exact amount instead of doing an add or a subtract. I think you can really have some fun with that. So the last thing I would think you might want to do here for WinCraps, just for the fun of it, go to the configuration screen, checks and dice tab. Maybe you can put the dice in a separate window. And of course you can move it to wherever you like, and maybe that'll simulate the dice sitting up there in a bubble. All right, well, have some fun playing WinCraps on WinCraps. Thanks for watching. Bye.